Hello and welcome to Real Person Yoga. I am Janelle and it is amazing to have you with us. I am possibly going to give you guys a Calli special, which is where my dog comes into the screenshots as she was laying just outside of where the camera sees. So we'll see how much yoga we can get through while having a dog in the room. So just fun facts on that. So starting in a seated position, I'm just going to pull a class out of how I'm feeling right now. And this will just be some bonus content just for y'all to get you excited about the page and what's coming up and to reach some of those goals. So I am going to start. I have very externally rotated hips, so it's very easy for me to sit like cross-legged or even in fire log or lotus. All of that is really good, but feel free to use blocks and pillows to prop your knees up however you so desire. I'm going to leave them here because if I use them, maybe you'll use them. But we'll just grab 2 blocks here. Or if you like that feedback from sitting on a block, so that you can feel your sits bones really well, feel free to go ahead and place a block there. So rooting down into the ground, feeling those sits bones, and then feeling that feedback go all the way up your spine, encouraging your collarbone to open and getting just a little bit taller from the crown of your head and your head coming up. Just take a moment to roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Leave them there, and then place your hands either on your knees or off to the side, somewhere comfortable, even maybe palms facing up, to rotate those shoulders to make sure that they're still twisting outwards. So taking a couple of moments to just breathe. That is a big part of yoga, maybe closing the eyes. And just noticing where the breath is, taking a moment to slow down in this fast-paced life. Inhale and exhale. Coming back to this whenever you're feeling stressed, anytime throughout the day, any triggers that you might come across, but just coming back to an inhale and an exhale, and starting to deepen those, feeling more air enter your lungs, and exhaling out that old, stale, stagnant air that sits there. On the next inhale, sweep the hands up. If you want, looking up and doing a slight back bend as well. Exhale, bring the hands right back down. Inhale up, nice and tall. One more time, and drop over to either side, but I'm going towards the right hand, so left hand for you guys. Keeping both sits bones firmly planted and just working on a little bit of a side bend. We're going to just bring some movement into the spine here. Not coming down as absolutely deep as you can, but just starting very gently, looking up, keeping collarbone open, maybe inching a little bit deeper. Inhale, bring the arms back up. Exhale, coming over to the other side, remembering to keep sits bones planted, opening up in the shoulder and the collarbone, and looking up. Maybe going slightly deeper, getting into the side muscles, feeling each rib expand, the space between it expand ever so slightly. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. Reach your hands out right in front of you. Bring your left hand underneath the right. And just give yourself a nice big hug. A little bit of self-love is always very important and a key part of yoga and just treating yourself properly. So giving yourself a nice big hug. If you're wanting more in your shoulders and you really want to stretch them out, maybe coming into eagle arms. So lifting the elbows up, crossing the hands over each other, and bringing that into there, really feeling that in the outer shoulders, keeping the back nice and straight, opening up the shoulders nice and wide, although we are making a little bit of resistance for them. And then look up, reach up slightly. Exhale, come and bring them down. And if you want to just do little baby motions here, that is actually what's very common in classes, is just to bring this ever so slightly when you're doing the eagle arms. But if you want more, and you just want to really get into it, you can do like cat, cow, and eagle arms all together. I think that feels wonderful, but moving with whatever feels good for you today. Remembering to breathe and enjoy. On your next inhale, release, look up, star hands, and switch. So bringing the right under the left, maybe giving yourself just a hug here on this side, or coming into eagle arms and going ahead and lifting them up and bringing them down. Maybe just starting slow. One side is always a little bit tighter than the other. Looking up there, or maybe doing cat-cow. Really opening up. Looking up, coming down, squeezing those shoulders, inhaling up. Just starting to feel everything get nice and warmed up in your back and your spine. Release the hands, place them back down on your knees, and getting nice and tall, looking up, and bringing the heart towards the floor. The goal is not to get it to touch the floor, but to maintain some integrity as we are doing a bit of a forward fold. Maybe walking the hands out if you want more. Staying nice and tall. Maybe coming even farther. Placing your elbows on the ground. Whatever it is so that you're not caving in. Good doggy. To your back. And then go ahead and feel the difference and release that tuck the chin. Feel the curl. Just spending a couple of seconds here. Releasing all of that. Coming back up, using your hands to walk yourself forward. Removing any blocks that you might have been using. And coming onto your hands and knees. If you need knees to be supported here, you can just roll your mat over for an extra layer, or if you want a lot more, grabbing a pillow and just full out putting a pillow under both of your knees. Go ahead and do what serves you best. I will use a pillow under my left knee. Coming and stacking your wrists underneath your shoulders. Playing around with your arm posture today, maybe the eyes of the elbows, rotating them in and out, just bringing some awareness to how the arms move and twist. Coming into a nice neutral position, either having the toes tucked under or shoelace side of the feet down, whatever makes you happy today, and then just continue to work with that spine. So starting to drop the belly down, looking up, pressing into those hands, opening up the shoulders, looking up. Exhale, start to curl, dropping the head down, neck, rolling through the shoulders into your nice angry cat. Push into the shoulders again, push that back up, and feel the bend the other way. Dropping everything down, inhaling and looking up. Exhale, pushing everything all the way up. Working with your own breath and going at the rate you so desire. This is your class. Take what you want. Great. I'm going to just assume you're doing this beautifully. On your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Play with your hands, splay them out even wider. Bring your right leg back, touching toes down to the ground, squaring off that hip, and just look over your right shoulder and take a peek at your right toes. Feel a little bit of a bend here, and come around and go the other way, looking over your left shoulder. Coming back, looking over your right shoulder, feeling that bend through the hip. And coming back, looking over your left. Go ahead and come back to neutral. Keep those hips nice and square. If you want, maybe playing with a bit of balance, starting that out nice and gentle today, and lifting that back leg. Having it be nice and straight, engaging into the foot, engaging into all of the leg, and using some of that core muscles. If you're looking for a little bit more, bring that left hand up. Ideally aligning it with the ear and really stretching and reaching. Bring hand down, bring knee down, give yourself a little bit of a rest. Flip your hands underneath so that you're stretching your wrists out the other way. Just gently, not putting all your body weight, you're mostly sitting back into your legs and just stretching your wrists out. Coming back, spreading those hands out nice and wide, getting ready for the balance, adjusting any props over to the other knee as you so need to. Coming into a nice flat tabletop, flat back, and bring your left foot back, planting those toes down, squaring off your hip. Inhaling here, exhaling, looking over your left shoulder, checking out those toes, make sure each one is planted down, and then look over your right shoulder. Just feeling the gentle and subtle stretch that is here. Watching for any saggy knee, keeping that foot engaged. Coming to neutral. Playing with a little bit of balance here, lifting up the leg, engaging it fully, engaging the glute, engaging the core, holding it nice and strong. And if you're looking for more here still, raising the right arm into our tiger pose, reaching forward, pressing into our hands, into our feet, and coming down, dropping everything back down, pushing back into a child's pose. I like wide-legged, so opening up the knees nice and wide, sitting back into your feet, maybe grabbing a block, and so that there's something to connect your forehead with. If this is excruciating on your knees, you can always sit on your block to prop yourself up a little bit higher. Sometimes that takes the pressure off the weight on the knees, or if you have a bolster, that will work too. But making sure that forehead is connected with something beautiful for that feedback from the earth. Just breathing and enjoying here. Inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, start to come up. Move away any props that you might have. Plant the hands firmly on your mat. Coming into tabletop or all fours, and then tucking the toes under, pressing into your toes and pushing back into downward dog. Feel free to readjust hands and feet as you so desire. I like my feet a little bit wider here. And focusing on stretching out of the shoulders. So bending those knees, stretching out of the shoulders, and then straightening the legs to wherever you can. The goal isn't to have your heels down and your legs and then be crumpling into your shoulders, but it's actually more of an inversion for your back. Walk to the front of your mat. Forward fold, just angle here. Engage into the four corners of your feet. Saying hello to your great toe, your baby toe, your arch and your heels. Come up halfway, straightening the back, getting nice and tall from the crown of the head. Folding forward from the hip, keeping that integrity in the back, bending the knees, and standing up, sweeping hands up, and then hands to heart center. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, come down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands down, step to the back of your mat. Quick little plank pose here, or coming down to your knees. It's all working the same muscles. And then coming down to your tummy, or doing a little chaturanga, keeping the hands underneath the shoulders, planting the pubic bone, and looking up gently. Maybe pressing up into a bit of a cobra. Exhale, push back. Come back into tabletop. Come into puppy pose. Which is like downward dog, but you don't lift your legs up at all. So they stay pretty squared to the mat. And relaxing this modification here. Just for a couple of breaths. Inhaling, looking up. Pressing the feet up. And walking to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Halfway up, straightening out that back. Folding all the way down. Bending the knees. Coming up to standing. Sweeping the hands up, maybe doing a little back bend, pressing your hands to heart center. Inhaling and exhaling here. Pressing into the feet, pressing into the knees, working on that external rotation of the knees, firing up the thighs, pressing the out of the thighs outwards, inwards, inside of the thighs to the in and up, and pretending you just jumped into a freezing cold pond or lake. Taking a quick inhale and exhale, but keeping everything that would have zipped up in the abdominal region. So it's tucking those abs in, gauging that core, gauging Mula Bandha, all of the bandhas, slight tuck of the neck, open shoulders, and press into those arms to engage the arms beautifully. Wonderful. I'm loving all of your Tadasanas, even though I can't see them, but if you post a photo, I am sure to like them, and I would love that feedback. Inhale one more time. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale, sweep the arms up and sit back, chair pose. Yes, we do love this. So keeping the hips and legs nicely engaged. Feet are powerful. Maybe even lifting the toes to feel that planting into the back of the feet, and then keeping those arches lifted here. Coming down a little bit further, straighten out the arms a little bit higher, or if you need a break, bring them into prayer, or just tucking them behind your back. It's all good. And then sitting down a little farther, reach up all the way, stand up nice and tall onto your tippy toes. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, sit back, chair pose. Maybe widening those feet ever so slightly. And coming down a little bit further, straightening that back. And looking to the left. And then bringing just a gentle twist, tucking that right leg back, keeping the integrity in the legs and the knees. And bringing that all the way down to the hip from the twist. Inhale, coming back to center. And standing up. Reach up. Exhale, sit back down. Other side. So just looking gently to the right, tucking that left hip back. So it always tracks forward and going as deep as you want in the twist on that side. Inhale, come up, sweep up. Nice and tall onto your tippy toes. Work on a little balance here. Exhale. Bring it all back down. I'm just going to face this way. So, standing on your mat, grounding down into our mountain pose, nice and firm. Bring the weight onto our left side, but without kicking that hip out, keeping the integrity of the pose. Pop the right knee up. Maybe kickstand the leg, bring the knee out to the right. And when you are ready, find your balance. Lifting the leg either to the calf, just below the knee, or with a helping hand, grabbing the foot, bringing it above the knee, avoiding putting any pressure directly on that knee joint, grounding into the foot, externally rotating the knee, finding some stability, and when you're ready, grow out your branches. Inhale and exhale. Find something to focus on that isn't moving. That often helps with this pose, whether it be up or down. Yeah, we're still holding here. Really working on that balance, letting the foot adjust and do all those micro movements. Inhale, bring the arms in. Catch the foot. Bring the knee to the front, but don't place it down yet. We're going to inch by inch bring it down nice and slow and controlled. Plant it down, drop the arms, give that left foot a shake. Bend the knees, make sure your body isn't screaming at you too hard. Pain is bad, but challenge is good. So it's up to you to find that line between there. So coming into the right hand side, planting into that foot, rooting down, externally rotating, engaging in the thighs and the legs, engaging in the arch, kickstanding the foot up, swinging the knee out, and starting off nice and slow. Ooh, finding something that is not moving to look at, and maybe with a helping hand, bringing it up a little bit higher, or not. Recognizing where you're at today, and growing out those branches. Nice and tall. Keep the shoulders open. Pressing into both legs. One more breath here. Inhale. Bring the hands down. Bring the foot up. And slowly, inch by inch, plant it back down onto the ground. Shake out that right foot. Come and enjoy. Make your way onto your mat. I'm going to face this way so that you can see how I'm sitting. But if you can sit on your feet, that is the goal here. If you want to be working like a warrior, ninja warrior, keeping them flat or bringing them here. I won't keep us here too long, but come out whenever you need to. I'm trying to work on strengthening the lower part of my feet, so having the toe bend adds a nice stretch. If this is absolutely killing you, go ahead and lean forward. That'll alleviate some of the weight going down onto your feet. If you want to be working with a block or two to work with that height so that you can rest into it, that is good too. But if you're here and you're not feeling it, you can start to tip yourself back, grabbing those trusty dusty blocks, starting nice and tall, and leaning back that way, as this is prep for hero pose, and coming down to wherever is serving you and your feet for that moment. Inhale, exhale. Grab your hands, twinkle your fingers, bringing awareness to each one of them, and pretend you're playing the piano. So looking at your hands in front of you, can you do a sequence where you are lifting the fingers on the left, working to the right? So if you put one over the other, can you control the segments individually? So it's not just pinky, ring finger, middle, index, and thumb moving. This took a little bit of practice, and it's still not perfect. All right, coming forward, taking a little break for your feet, maybe tapping them out, and coming into the opposite of whatever you're doing before here. We're just going to quickly work with our hands more to distract us from what's going on in our feet. And if you are now sitting flat feet down, and it is agonizing, sit on a block. That'll help relieve some of that pressure, or a bolster, or 2 blocks, or 3 blocks, whatever you need. Stacking that up there, because you're really going to feel it on the tops of your feet. So giving yourself a little hand massage, starting with the thumb, working from where it connects to the wrist, and then working all those muscles out to the thumb, pulling nice and strong, shaking it out, and doing that for each finger. So working from the bottom, rolling your fingers, and then grabbing. Give them a nice little pull and flick. Or do whatever feels great for you. There's no must in my classes. Doing one hand in completion. And then moving to the next one. Again, starting with whatever fingers you want, as long as they all get done. Don't forget about any of your little fingers. Our feet and our hands have the most nerve endings, so it's important to give them a little bit of love. Massage them and awaken them and see how that changes your postures. All right, leaning forward, coming off any blocks that you might have, tapping out the feet, Totally enjoying here, swinging the legs under so you're sitting back on your seat. You need a block? Are you good? Sitting back, rolling back and down, protecting that lower back and spine. Maybe sitting on the hands, lifting the knees up, and just windshield wiper your legs back and forth. If you prefer to do this with your feet on the ground, go do that. But sometimes I like just to target a little bit higher. Hug the knees in. Give yourself a little massage on that lower back. Plant the feet down underneath the knees. Lift up. Little baby bridge. Roll everything back down. Planting the shoulders. Opening them up wide. Feeling that surface area of the shoulders. Pressing into the feet. Hips naturally lift up. Coming into bridge. Keeping the knees together. Staying off of the neck so the chin is tucked. And coming onto the shoulder blades. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pressing up one more time. Exhale, lower. And coming into a comfortable position for Shavasana. So maybe kicking the legs out, grabbing a bolster under the knees, or a blanket or pillow. I'm going to sit up so that I can focus and guide you. Taking a moment in your Shavasana to truly relax each of your muscles, segments of your body, not letting any thoughts creep in, but just taking a moment to focus on your breath again. Lengthening that inhale and exhale. Alleviating any stress. Scanning the body, see how you're feeling now after yoga. Thanking yourself for making it to your mat and doing a phenomenal job. Oh.
Are you in your video?
No, it's a blooper video anyway because Calli's in it.
Okay, because I was like, she comes to see me and her tail's just like against the wall. I'm just like.
The camera is on though, and I'm not deleting any of this footage, just so you know.
Okay, Bumpy, come on. Let's leave Mama alone.
Recognizing that life happens and is always there, but just taking a couple of moments to finish up. Obviously bringing some awareness back to the body, wiggling fingers and toes, wrists, elbows, coming up into a seated position, like so. Thank you so much for having this freebie video complete with husbands and dogs and life that happens, but it is all wonderful. This is Real Person Yoga, and I'm a real person with a real dog and a real family. I hope you have just a wonderful day. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel where we will workshop different poses, do different videos throughout the week, and have just a great time practicing together as we make yoga accessible for all people. If you have any questions or requests or comments, please feel free to do so on this video. My dog is now going to eat her breakfast, and so just enjoy, have a great day, and we will see you next time. Be blessed.